The hour, and it's Kim Rentz's turn for Ladies' Day, and of course, a regular on the program. Great to have you in.
Well, it's good to be here.
So I know you're always so busy down there. When you left, what were you fixing, or were you doing a class, or what was going on?
Well, we were in the middle of selling a sewing machine and selling some fabric for a new project. So we have a lot of customers come in, and a lot of people are busy doing a lot of different projects.
Are you seeing people doing this more and more?
Yes. In fact, I looked up a couple of things this morning because there's been some rumors about nobody sews anymore. So if quilting is a $4.2 billion industry.
Oh,
did you know that?
No, I did not.
And crafting is a $985 billion industry. So
Billion.
Billion, yeah, B with a billion. And I just feel that people don't quite understand all the fun that we have down there. So you need to come down to 226 4th Avenue South and see us. We have a lovely selection of sewing machines there and a lovely selection of fabric and notions to support that. We do classes to teach you how to use said sewing machines. And it's a safe place. We don't judge, and we have a lot of friendships that form there. From, people will drive from quite a ways. We pull from about 200 miles away now. We're expanding. Used to be a good 150 miles, I could say that, either side we would get, but I've got a lot of people coming down from Wisconsin, large group from Dubuque. I've got people coming from the Iowa City area now. Illinois, as far as Geneseo, is nothing for them to come up from Geneseo, and so we pull from quite a little ways.
I would guess so. And I'm sure it's because you do such a tremendous job there, but is it because there's not stores like yours?
No, I don't think that's the case. I used to have people that tell me they would, stop 2 or 3 places on the way to get to our place.
Okay.
And I feel like they, sometimes make a road trip out of it. I know 3 of the ladies that were in this morning, they're currently eating lunch now. They got their fabric and, asked for a good place for lunch. So we have a few recommendations for them that are close. Sometimes they just walk. Because they're not familiar with driving in Clinton, and so sometimes they want to drive to wherever they're eating. So depending on which direction they came from, we try to get them on their way in that particular direction to a place to eat. So, and I've also have people that have spent the night in town and then will hit us first thing in the morning and then go on their journey, or we'll be the last stop at 4 o'clock and they'll shop until 5, and then they'll spend the night and then go on to another shop in the morning.
Interesting.
So we bring a lot of people into Clinton, and hopefully it's because when they get there they have a little fun.
Well, you got a fun group down there, and it seems like, of course, you're always there, it seems like. And but there's always like 3 or 4 or 5 other ladies that appear to be working at the same time.
I do have a good staff. My staff is very well versed as far as the sewing industry. I have a couple of former home ec teachers. I have a couple of people that do long arm quilting in their home. So they have like a 12 and 15 foot frame, and they sew on a 12 and 15 foot frame. And so I have 2 long arm people that sew. They're the ones that put that quilt sandwich together. So
do they like physically have like long arms?
Yes, they physically do have to have long arms because they have to work on that 12-foot frame. But they will take your masterpiece and they will put that fluffy stuff in the middle to keep you warm and put it back on it, and then they sew those 3 sandwich layers together, and so they do that on their long arm. And it's called a long arm because it's a bigger machine. It's a giant machine. So I have those girls working for me. We have a varied staff. Everybody brings to the table something else. I have a garment sewer. I have someone that's more well versed in home dec sewing. Sewing isn't just one thing, kind of like sports. Not everybody plays baseball. There's a lot of different sports. So sewing is the same way. So everything has its family, so to speak. And so my staff is well versed in that too. So there's usually somebody there that's done it, tried it, and is pretty well versed. And so I kind of need that varied staff to accommodate that.
Trying to see what the time was. classes. Do you do the majority of the classes, or head them up, or do you have other folks who help you there?
I do the majority of the know-how classes, the classes on how to work on your sewing machine, how to thread the bobbin, how to get it running. My staff is more into the artistic, creative classes. So they teach how to make a quilt, how to make a tote bag, how to make a placemat, and they do more of that kind of stuff. I do more of the nitty-gritty, I guess you might call it. So I do more of the know-how classes myself, but I've been known to throw a creative one in there once or twice. But.
And how do you decide what the classes schedule is going to be?
We try to keep it varied so that we don't have the same thing all the time, and a lot of times that's determined by what comes in new in the box from the UPS man, because he'll bring in something and somebody will look at that and go, oh, that's going to be a tote bag. Nope, that's going to be a blanket. Nope, that's going to be a quilt. Nope, that's going to be a dress for me. So depending on what comes in the front door in the box, usually the staff will kind of go and take and run with that, but we do try to keep that schedule as varied as we possibly can.
You, of course, pointed out some great numbers there of how many people are doing this, but I would imagine you reach out to the younger folks. You have those summer camps.
We do. We like to get the kids interested. Funny thing is, we have just as many young boys as young girls that like to do the summer camp or the over Christmas vacation camp. And I got to tell you, my 9-year-old grandson, he can sew the straightest line of stitching out of the whole group. I don't care what I give that boy, he can just sew that line just as straight as an arrow every time. So usually the boys are pretty good, but they're a little more mechanical, and so I think sometimes sewing is a mechanical thing until that creative juice kicks in. So
you say mechanical, boys, but you're very mechanical, as is my wife, much more mechanical than I.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I think you just kind of either run with it or you don't. But anyway, no, we have a lot of classes, and I'll tell you what too. Our classes run from beginning to advanced. Right now we have an art quilt that's going to start, and so that quilt is done with it's just a giant butterfly. It's probably 6 feet across, and it has every color of the rainbow and then some. I think the students had to pick 42 different colors of fabric for that, and can you imagine picking 42 of anything?
Yeah.
So that's quite the ordeal for them, but they'll be starting on that now in a couple of weeks and get those going. So and that's more of a creative, artistic thing than it is a sewing thing. So our classes kind of run the gamut from advanced to beginner class. I'm going to do an advanced embroidery class next week on ribbon embroidery, which we used to sew by hand, and now they've figured out how to do that on the sewing machine. So
amazing.
Has a little attachment that you put on, and it's just magic. You get out the magic wand and tink, it's done.
I just was looking at your top. You got a beautiful paisley print top there. Did you make that?
I did not, but I've had a lot of compliments on it this morning,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, I'll have to get this pattern out and go for it. But
Do you
thank
make many of your clothing? Do you have time to make many of your clothing?
Unfortunately, I don't get to sew near as much as I used to. That's when you run a business, it kind of runs you. So I don't have a whole lot of time for what I want to do anymore, but that's okay.
We're going to take a break for the weather here in just a minute, but I know the spring shop hop is coming up, the Iowa spring shop hop, and you're 1 of 12.
1 of 12. You come in and get your passport stamped. You can turn that in for prizes, and we'll give you a free pattern. So this year, the quilt is Blooming Fantasies, and Sarah Guerrero has made that quilt up. So it's a brand new pattern, and each shop that you go to will be one block of that quilt. And then a lot of times when that happens, you get those blocks or you get that pattern and you put it in a bag and it stays in the closet as a UFO, unfinished object. And but this one, she's going to run a blog. So when you're all done collecting your pattern, you can do her blog. And so she's going to get you to sew it together instead of just leaving it in the closet.
That's good. Now, Iowa and Illinois, Iowa, obviously. What are some of the other ones, just off the top of the head, that are in the area?
Yep, there's 4 shops in Illinois. There's 7 in Iowa, Muscatine, West Branch, DeWitt, us, the Geneseo, Kelowna.
Well, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Did they get a map?
Oh, yep, they get a map and they get their little passport with everybody on there, and lots of prizes. Those girls have just gone nuts with prizes. So the top prize is a $500 gift, so you got to do it just for fun.
I would think so. We're going to check the weather right after this.
Metform in Savannah is currently hiring CNC operators with multiple shift options and forming operators and maintenance techs. The forming operators and maintenance tech positions offer a $1,000 sign-on bonus. Come join the Metform team today. Apply online at metformjobs.com or indeed.com. For more information, call Human Resources at 815-273-1361.
It's time now on KROS for the Storm Track 8 weather forecast, brought to you by Billion Auto.
A weather impact alert is in place for your Friday, especially as we get into the afternoon, where we're expecting strong winds, gusts up to 50 miles an hour. Mostly sunny skies will push temperatures into the low 60s this afternoon. Those temperatures will drop into the mid-20s tonight as gusty winds continue. With your Storm Track 8 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
Currently, we have sunny skies and a temperature of 56 degrees. Winds are out of the west at 20 miles per hour. This weather report on KROS has been brought to you by Billion Auto.
If you're looking for the best place to start your car buying journey, take the easy road to a great deal at BillionAuto.com. You can shop 16 new car brands and over 4,500 new and pre-owned vehicles all at your fingertips. Plus, estimate your trade value in minutes and apply for credit pre-approval in just a few easy steps, allowing multiple lenders to compete for your business. Take the easy road to your next vehicle at BillionAuto.com. Not all credit applications approved.
If you're looking to buy a new mattress, recliner, or lift chair, head to Premier Home Furnishings in Clinton. They have over 19 mattresses on display, from firm to pillow top, traditional to adjustable. See the new Nectar mattresses and lift beds on display. Look over their large selection of recliners starting at $399 and a great selection of lift chairs starting at $799. Free delivery and setup available. Come to Premier Home Furnishings, 2001 Lincoln Way in Clinton. Phone 563-243-0332 or online at clintonpremier.com.
Ladies' Day continues. Kim Rentz of Keeping You Sewing, a veteran of the program. How long have you been keeping you sewing?
I'll tell you what, we just celebrated our 10th anniversary last fall, so we had put 10 candles on our birthday cake at the store. We had cupcakes and
that's right, I got a cupcake.
Yeah, we had some fun things planned. We had a few party games. So if you came in, you got to play, pin the tail on the donkey or whatever it was called. And so we had some party games and some cupcakes and celebrated 10 years in business. So
that is tremendous.
Yeah, I don't know where that time went, but
yeah,
it's gone now.
It goes quickly, no
That's
doubt
right.
about that. So you got something special coming up in March into April.
Yeah, on March 17th, we're going to have the Sally Tomato Trunk Show, and it's not pasta. Sally Tomato is a pattern company, and she does mostly bags and totes and wallets, things of that nature. She has taken what may have been construed as homemade, and now it's handmade. So if you use one of her patterns, you can make your bag or purse out of the fabric you like. So instead of your choice being, black or brown, you can make it out of chartreuse or, bright pink or whatever color you want. She's also gotten all of the hardware that you need to make it look professional. So we have all of the hardware, the little clips and the swivel hooks and the little things like on your keychain. So we have all of those pieces and parts. The box has just come to the store, and Kathy's been tediously checking in all of that new product. Really pretty leathers. We have some faux leathers, ostrich skin leathers, turquoise and magentas and pretty purples, and just beautiful, rich-looking leather. But of course, it's a fake leather, but it looks nice, and you would be surprised how easy it is to sew through. So they make it with a polyester backing, so it's very supple and very easy to sew through, so most sewing machines will sew through it. And you can make a professional looking bag, and most people go, "Did you make that?" And you can just smile and say, "Yeah, you did." So even you could make one.
Well, no.
But we have passport, there's a pattern for a passport wallet that I think is going to be very popular. Apparently the fanny packs are back in style again, so there's a pattern for that. A lot of backpacks. Backpacks are a big thing now too, so there's several patterns for backpacks. So I'm excited to see her trunk show will come in, and I think we have about 20 samples coming. So we'll have those at the store so people can look at those and go, "Oh, I was thinking this was going to be bigger," or "I wanted something smaller," or, and you know, when you get your hands on it and you can see it and feel it, it's so much easier to anticipate instead of a paper pattern and what it may become.
So how do you get these trunk shows? How does that work?
We have to contact the pattern designer or the company that promotes it, and sometimes it's quite the tedious process because, you know, there's only 500 more people that want it too, so you kind of have to wait your turn. But we've had trunk shows in the past. They're very well received, and again, you know, my clientele is kind of a touchy-feely group. You know, we kind of like to see stuff and feel the quality. So trunk shows are always you know, a fun thing that people like.
Oh, you know, I tried to talk you out of a different song for this year, but you would have none of it. So I'll let you go and introduce your song.
We're going to listen to Pins and
I
Needles.
hated it when it was inventory because you had capacitors and all these other different things like that. What's inventory like for you guys?
It's not fun. We go through a lot of chocolate. Yeah, we have a lot of little pieces, and we also have fabric on bolts. So, you know, you have to kind of figure out a way to count how much is on the bolt without undoing the whole bolt of fabric. So it gets a little tedious. And, you know, some products can be in two different sections. So a lot of times we've just call it a scavenger hunt. But, you know, it's fun and we get through it.
You wanted to address the Joann Fabric store closing.
Yes, I do. I've had several customers talk to me about the Joann Fabric chain, and they, my opinion on that is, and it's just my opinion, but people think that that's a good thing for me, and it really isn't. I believe more in the cooperate and complement type of thing. And when a business goes out of a community, I think it's not good for anybody, no matter what community it is or what community they serve. And so I hate to see it when these businesses go out. And, you know, Joann Fabrics has a completely different approach to things than what we have. They also carry so many different products than what we do. And there's no way that I could carry all of the products that Joann has, and they also don't have the ability to do that one-on-one support that we do at our store. So, you know, we kind of work together, and so it hurts me when I hear people say, "Well, I bet you're happy Joann's is going out," and that can't be farther from the truth. Yeah. You know, I really prefer to have a little more cooperation, and you know, competition is good. It makes you better. So I'm really sad to see that. But I just want people to know that's not my dream. My dream is to have everybody sewing all the time. So
you did such a good job of putting things together here for me. What's online finds versus sewing success?
Yes, I've had a lot of people coming in with, "Oh, look, I found this online and it was really cheap, and look at it, but I can't quite get it to work." And unfortunately, you know, it's broken, or it got damaged in shipping, or that online find wasn't quite such a find because now it needs parts. And I even have some that'll go so far as to tell me that they tried to order parts for it too, and they'll bring me a machine and parts in another box and say, you know, "Can you make one good machine out of these three that aren't working?" And unfortunately, it's nothing but frustration. And I want people to know that, you know, that old adage, "You get what you pay for," is kind of true. And, you know, if you come into the store, the first thing we don't say is you need $1 million to walk in the door. The first thing is, what are you going to sew? We try to, it's like fitting shoes. We try to fit you with the machine that you need. And not everybody needs a top of the line. Not everybody needs a beginner either. We try to fit the machine for what you need. And I've seen a lot of people throw a lot of money away because they've gone online and bought something that was totally wrong for them, and then it's gotten damaged, and now we don't have support. They don't know how to use it, and they have to pay me to teach them how to use it, and it's just a losing thing all the way around. And I want people to know that we're here to help you, not here to just take money from you. So when you purchase a machine from me, by the time you go out the door with it, you know how to wind a bobbin, you know how to put the thread in it, you feel comfortable with it, and we know it all works before you leave the store. You're not going to have a bad surprise when you get home.
Because if someone comes in and buys a machine from you, classes are available.
Classes are free.
Yeah,
they have free classes at the store. So, and like I always tell people, pick up the phone and call me. I'm really good about walking you through the thingamajig next to the whatchamacallit, and you turn it to the left, So we can do that over the phone,
You're
too.
amazing. There's no doubt about that. You are amazing. And we had Lou of Deja Vu in earlier today, and I know she is the driving force behind this
The consignment crawl, yeah. Yes. We're in on that, too. That's always a cool thing. You see people just wandering around, going from business to business. It's awesome.
So, people, Husqvarna Viking is top of the line.
Top of the line.
How did you end up with it?
Well, it's a good quality machine, and I've always stuck with it. I service all makes and models, and after you've seen the insides of other brands, we're still selling the Husqvarna Vikings.
Do you go to, was it Denmark? Where are
they're from Sweden.
Sweden, okay.
Yeah. We do have convention every year, so we do go for training every year on,
Sweden?
We don't get to go to Sweden.
okay.
It's usually here in the States somewhere, but it's training, so we learn how to work on the outsides and work on the insides. And
You have a desire to go over to Sweden at all?
I did get to go once.
You did? Okay.
And it was beautiful.
Okay.
It reminded me of Minnesota. But,
They all talk like them?
Yep, that's right. And very clean. It was very clean. There was no trash, no litter. It was a beautiful place.
Were they pretty receptive to have you there? I mean,
Yes,
they think,
yes.
Kim, thank
yes, yeah. They were very nice to us.
That's good.
Yep.
If you want to find out more information about Keeping You Sewing, how can they best do that?
They can call us at 563-242-6135, or we have a website, so www.keepingyouSewing.com.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having
At
me.
Community State Bank of Morrison, their mission is to develop long-term relationships with business customers. The bank is committed to do whatever's necessary to help your business be successful. When you bank at Community State Bank, you're working with the decision makers. Call one of their experienced professionals today to see how Community State Bank of Morrison can add value to your business. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And now from the KROS Newsroom, here is Sydney Ellen.
The Iowa Department of Health and Human Services says 2 baby girls were turned over to the state earlier this month under the Safe Haven program. Radio Iowa's Dar Danielson has that story.
The department says one girl was born February 8th and the other on February 12th. Safe Haven allows parents who determine they cannot care for an infant to turn the baby over to the state with no questions asked. The baby has to be under 90 days old. There were 8 Safe Haven